So, folks, Wandavision episode 4 is now out, and that means it's time for my review. Let's talk about it. So, just a quick aside before we begin, I did originally film this review in conjunction with the Little Things review. I deleted the footage. I deleted most of the footage. The Little Things, I had pieced it up and got enough to, for my review and my thoughts. But WandaVision, unfortunately, I don't want that. WandaVision, unfortunately, I deleted it all. So here I am doing it again. So the first thing I want to mention that I thought was incredible was the show's commitment to their concept. Like, as we say, the sitcom, they've been continuing. Obviously, this episode they decided to do something different. But even in this break episode, it is titled, the episode is titled "We Interrupt This Program," which is, a clever nod to, sitcoms, TV shows, advertisements. And so even the show's structure as a season is following the sitcom, narrative that they're pushing. And I think that's really creative. So just starting from the beginning of the episode, we obviously have the first snap, the Thanos snap. So it's happening right as Hulk snaps, and to bring everyone back. And here we are, and this time we get a pretty interesting perspective on it, because in Endgame, obviously all the heroes come back, but we don't get to look at everyone in the world popping back up. In Spider-Man Far From Home, it's played as a gag, as a joke. Nothing wrong with that. It fits the tone of the movie, but
5 years ago, half of all life in the universe, including our own Midtown High, was wiped from existence. But then, 8 months ago, a band of brave heroes brought us back. They called it the blip.
In WandaVision, we get a very serious look, and something that so we didn't really consider when we think about the snap. And apparently, they're focusing on that aspect too in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So stay hyped for that one. So in the beginning, we find out that Maria Rambeau, who we only know from Captain Marvel, is dead. She had cancer, but she is the founder of SWORD, the organization in WandaVision, and again the little base at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. So that's interesting. She created it, I assume, probably with Captain Marvel, and we'll see that in some way. Maybe the origins of it a bit, or maybe it's explored more here. Unlikely, but we'll see. But something interesting. I don't know how many of you caught it, but Jimmy does do his little card trick in the beginning of the episode, which is obviously a nod to his role in Ant-Man and the Wasp. And that's just a fun little gag. We do get our first look at Darcy since Thor: The Dark World, and we learn that now she's an astrophysicist, which is a step up from the intern she was in both the original the first two Thor movies. Just a quick little thing that kind of pulled me out of the episode, I would say, is Darcy and Jimmy's acting. Like, it's fine, it's good for their role, and it wasn't bad, I'd say, but there were scenes where it was just I don't know if it's just the way it mixes with the show in particular. Their styles aren't really meant for it, the seriousness so far, but there's just something about it wasn't really working for me. And I mean, I enjoyed the episode just a little bit, but it did pull me out. Tiana Paris, though, I believe is her name, plays Monica, and she's excellent. I mean, she's really great, and I hope we get to see more of her in the rest of the MCU. And then something interesting that I thought was that SWORD doesn't really know anything that we don't too, because they go in blind. They know, they pull up, it's Eastview, they don't know what's going on, and then they too find out that Wanda and Vision are in this sitcom. It's playing like a sitcom in their world too, and so I think that's interesting that we're finding it out together. So obviously in this episode we got a little look at a dead Vision with the stone ripped out of his head from Infinity War, just walking around. And so the question's been raised the whole time: how is Vision there? Because of course he is dead, and I think there's still no definitive answer, but it's possible that Wanda is or someone's manipulating this reality to have dead Vision walking around everywhere. It's kind of a scary thought. They mentioned in the episode CMBR, I believe, which is radiation dating back to the Big Bang, and I caught that, and I thought of the Infinity Stones, because we know the Infinity Stones are from they were created at the same time as the Big Bang, but of course all the Infinity Stones in that reality are destroyed, and then the other ones that they got in Endgame were returned back to their respective places. So I'm not really sure what all that is. what the radiation is in Westview, but I guess we'll find out. So while I did find it engaging, I thought it was a great episode, and it was definitely my favorite of the season so far. I do have to ask if it will be, as good the next rewatch, because this won't be my only time watching the show because I'm an MCU fan. But for casual fans, are they going to be as interested if they end up getting back to this episode in the future? Because they'll already know the mystery. Will it be interesting to, see it back through? Possibly. Maybe there's some little nuggets of information we're missing that we'll find out, upon rewatch. But as of right now, that's just the question I'm asking. A quick thing that I wanted to mention was that this episode tries to make it very clear that Wanda is controlling the reality. Monica literally at one point basically looks at the camera and says, "It's all Wanda." And I just want to say that's misdirection. I'm not buying it for a second. When a show does something that blatant, they're trying to pass it along and get you to believe something that, Sword believes as of this moment. Wanda's, evil. I'm sure the message they're trying to send out. But, I'm not buying it. I do think it's obvious Wanda has some control over the reality because we saw her push Geraldine out. We've seen her create things, mess with Vision, say no when the beekeeper's gone, rewind, back to a certain point in the episode. But I don't think it's her. I still think we'll see Mephisto, Ralph, Agnes's husband, and Agnes herself are all going to play a big part in the reveal and who's really controlling the reality. While this episode answers a lot of questions, it certainly raises a lot more, and I'm excited to see them through the rest of the season. My original assumption about the show was that since the first 6 episodes are half an hour each, that we were going to get, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s in those, and 7, 8, 9 were going to be hour-long, climactic ones. But obviously that's not the case, so I guess the sitcom portion of the show continues into the hour-long episodes, which should be interesting to see how they do that. So technically through episode numbers, we are about halfway. 4.5 would have been halfway, so we're past halfway. But that in watch time, we are a third of the way because, a 6-hour show, we have now covered 2 hours. So there's still a lot more to go, a lot more for me to review, and a lot more for you to be excited about. I'm looking forward to the rest. Let me know if you are as well. Put it down in the comments, any theories, anything you may think about the episode. And I'll see you next week. Assuming I don't delete my footage again.